Hi, welcome to the class. Today we'll do second part of the video of simple pendulum. So in the previous video we have taken all the readings for the time period of oscillation and we have made the observation table. So this was the observation table. I'll show it to you once again. So the observation table is this. So this was the observation table which was made in the previous video, and now using these values we have plotted a graph of T square versus L, right? So now in this video you will learn also how to plot the graph. So here is the graph. So as you could see in this graph, this is the T square is in second and it is taken along y-axis. So this vertical line in a graph is known as y-axis. So this is y-axis. And this horizontal line is known as x-axis. So along this x-axis we have marked length, which is in centimeter, and along y-axis we have marked the time t square, which is in second. Here we have taken the values as 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and this last value, I am not taking the last value of this reading, which was for 100 centimeter. This value I have cut it, right? So this value we are not taking, I am taking up to 80, right? So these were the values of the lengths which were taken: 25, 36, 49, 64, 81. So in this case, the very first value of the length is 25, and the T square, so square of this time period, so 1 square is 1 only. So I have to plot this point. So this is 20, this is 30, in between it will be 25, because if this is 20 and there are 10 divisions, so each division is of 1 centimeter. So 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So 25 is this, and then time is 1. So time is 1, time is along y-axis, this is 1. So this is the first point, which is 25, 1. For the second point, second reading is 36. So this is 36, and square of this T square, that is 1.44. So since we are taking the values up to 1 decimal place only, therefore I am taking 1.4 rather than 1.44, right? So this is 1.4. So next reading will be 36, 1.4. So here you have 36. So this is 30, 40. Again this is division, 10 divisions. Each division is of 1 centimeter. 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. So this is 36, and 1.4 will be, now see, again this is divided into 10 parts from 1 to 2. So it will be 1, then 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4. So this point is being marked. Similarly 49, next reading is 49 and then 1.4. So square of 1.4 is 1.96. So again we are taking up to 1 decimal place only, so I have taken 1.9. So 49 and 1.9. So 49 and 1.9. Again 49, 40 to 50. Each is 1 centimeter. So just before 50 we will have 49. So this is 49, 1.9. Similarly 64, 2.5. Next reading you could see 64 and then 1.6. 1.6 is 2.56. So I have taken up to 1 decimal place, that is 2.5. So this reading is this. Next is 81, 33, 3.6. 81, 1.9. So 1 squared of 1.9 is 3.56. So this will come 3.6, right? So if you plot all these points, you could see that the 4 points are lying on this line and 1 point is getting out of this line. So that is perfectly fine with us because it happens in the graph. And the points which are taken on the line and the one which is not, so the points which come on the line, we call them best fit curve. So this is the best fit line. So this is the best fit line. So the points lying on it are what we call the best fit line. Like, so I hope that you understood the graph. Now we have to calculate the slope of this graph. Now how do we calculate the slope of this graph? One more thing guys, you have to establish a relation between T square and L using this graph. Now remember, whenever a graph of any two physical quantities, in this case t square and L. If it is a straight line, if the graph is a straight line, those two physical quantities are directly proportional to each other. Those two physical quantities are directly proportional to each other. So the graph of t square and L is a straight line. Therefore, I can conclude that t square is directly proportional to L. So t square is directly proportional to L. Why it is directly proportional to L? Because the square of t, because the graph of t square and L is a straight line. If I remove this square here, root will come. So it will become t is directly proportional to root L. Now I have to calculate slope of t square versus L graph. How do I calculate the slope? Now this is also important. You will learn to calculate the slope. So formula for the slope you need to learn is, I teach it like this, that rise upon run. So rise means you have to rise from this axis. Rise means along y axis we will rise, and run means we will run along x axis. So we are running along x axis and we are rising along y axis. So this is rise upon run. It means y axis upon x axis. So this is y, rise upon run. Rise along y axis and run along x axis. Now remember this y, whenever we calculate this slope cannot be calculated of a single point. It is always calculated with the 2 points. So that is why when we take this for y and this for x, we always say that it is change in y. So we take 2 points, right? So we take 2 points for calculating the rise along y axis. So we take 2 points. That is why we put this change in y and change in x. So 2 points I have taken, y2 minus y1, which is for rise, and x2 minus x1, which is for run. So now from the graph, all the points are marked, as you could see. Circles are being made. So from this point, that is 64, 2.5, always remember that you have to first write the x-axis wala point. You write here always the x-axis point. So this is x-axis. So always whenever in graph you write the values, you write x comma y. So this is how you write the point. It means the value of x comes first and then the value of y will come. So this is x, this is y, 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 right? For slope you will take 2 points. I have taken this point. From this point I drew a straight line and I connected this with this point. It means I am calculating the slope using these 2 points which are on the line, right? Otherwise you can take any 2 points, like this point also you can take. You take this point, draw the straight line, connect it with this point, and then also the graph, the slope can be calculated. Any 2 points you can take along this line, any 2 points. So I'm taking these 2 points. So my point is 64, 2.5 and 25, 1, right? So if I calculate, slope was y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. That is rise upon run. Rise upon run is equals to change in y upon change in x. To calculate the change we need 2 points. That is why we have taken y2 minus y1. So this is y2. Which one is y among these 2 points? So 2.5 is the y. So this will become y2. And this will become x2. This will become x1. And this will become y1. So it is y2, 2.5 minus 1. So y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. So that is 64 minus 24. So 2.5 minus 1 upon 64 minus 2.25. 64 minus 25. 2.5 minus 1, 64 minus 2.5. 1.5, which is the time. Don't forget that this is the time axis. T square is the, y is the time axis. Y is the time axis. So this value 2.5 is the time, 1 is the time, then 64 is the length, and 25 is the length. So this is 1.5. Obviously this is time, this is time. So this is also time and its unit will be second. But guys, this is in centimeter, and we know that whenever we deal with length, we always deal with the SI unit. So this is in centimeter. So 1 meter is equals to 100 centimeter, 34 centimeter. To convert this centimeter, centi, you remember this prefix centi? Centi means 10 to the power minus 2 or 1 upon 100. So we divide this by 100 to convert it into meter. sorry, this is 39, this is also 39. So 0.39 upon 1.5. If I divide this is in second, now this is in meter, so it will come 3.5 second square meter, right? So if you know that this power is 1, m to the power 1, it is in denominator. If it goes in numerator, it will become -1. So 3.8 second square per meter. Now, as I told you, if this graph is a straight line, the graph of t square and L is a straight line. The graph of t square and L is a straight line. So if it is a straight line, we can conclude that they both are directly proportional to each other. I'll tell you what do we mean by directly proportional. Directly proportional means as we increase this will increase by the same amount. So what does it mean? If I double this time, the length will also get doubled. Obviously here it is a square, so square we have to do. But proportional means is one, if I increase one, the other will increase, and if I decrease one, the other will decrease. So from the graph I can conclude that t square is directly proportional to L. So if I remove this proportionality, whenever we remove the proportionality, this is the sign of proportionality, like this. If I remove this proportionality, a constant will come. It can be any constant. Constant means anything which does not change. Any number, it can be any number, it can be anything. So if constant is there, constant is something which does not change. So I have removed this proportionality. Whenever we remove proportionality, equality comes along with a constant. Equality comes along with a constant. So constant and L. L is the length. So I brought that L in division, that is in denominator. So t square upon L is equals to constant, right? And the value of this t square upon L, if you remember, this slope is what? This slope is what? This is t square upon L. Isn't this slope t square? How can I say that this is t square? You can say that slope is the y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. But if you see, what are the values of y2? Time. What is the value of y1? Time. What are the values of x2? Length. x1 length. So basically y2 minus y1, if I take y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. So basically this is the value of time. Whose value it is? Time. So I can write it as t2 square. Why? Because this is the value of time, 2.5. 2.5 is the square value of time. 2.5 is the squared value of time. If you look here, 2.5 is the squared value of time. So that has come from the squared value of time. Similarly, t1 squared, y1 I can write t1 squared. So this is the squared value of time, which is 1. This is the squared value of time, 1. And upon x2, what is this? This is L2, that is the length. And what is this? This is L1, which is again the length. So don't forget that the slope is only slope, whatever slope we have calculated, it is nothing but it is y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. Because we cannot calculate the slope using a single value, and this slope is nothing but it is the slope of t square by L. It means whatever value will come here is the value of t square upon L. So what was the value which came? So the value which came was 3.8 second square per meter. So this is the value of t square upon L. So t square upon L is equals to constant, and that constant's value is 3.8. Now guys, I am going to tell you something. This constant, it means this 3.8, this constant is equal to this value. Now if you want to calculate this value, you can easily calculate. This is 4 pi square upon g. Now what is g? G is the acceleration due to gravity. Acceleration due to gravity. Acceleration due to gravity. So this is the acceleration due to gravity, which is g, right? So g is the acceleration due to gravity. So this constant, that is this value, is equal to this 4 pi square upon g. And what is this? This is the slope. Slope of what? Slope of t square versus L graph. So basically this value is t square upon L, and this value is equal to this. It means t square upon L is equals to 4 pi square upon g. One thing I can say it like this, or I can say 3.8 is equals to 4 pi square upon g, right? Because t square upon L is equals to this. if I put t square upon L is equals to 4 pi square upon G, what will come? T square upon L will be equal to 4 pi square upon G, and G, which is the acceleration due to gravity. So I can calculate the value of acceleration due to gravity using this simple pendulum experiment after calculating the time period of oscillation. So G will be 4 pi square. From here L will go that side, G will go that side, and T square will come in division. So it is 4 pi square L upon T square. 4 is a constant, pi square, that is 3.14 square, into, now see, it is L upon T square, but I know T square upon L is equals to 3.8, which we have calculated just now. The slope, the value of the slope I have calculated. Slope of what? Slope of T square upon T square versus L graph. So slope, that is 3.8, it is equal to T square upon L, but here I have to find the value of L upon T square, because in the formula it is L upon T square. So I will reciprocal this value. T square upon L is equals to 3.8 second square per meter, and L upon T square, I will reciprocal it, I have reciprocaled it. So L upon T square is equals to 1 upon 3.8, and reciprocal the unit also, meter per second, meter upon meter per second square. So this is the value of L upon T square, 1.38. Now if you square 3.14, it will be 9.8. So if you divide this, so guys, if you divide this, it is coming 1.05. But as I told you, we are not taking values up to 2 decimal place. We are not taking values up to 2 decimal place. We are taking values up to 1 decimal place only. So I have taken it up to 1 decimal place, that is 1.0. So if I take it 1.0, I divided this, it came 1.05. I am taking up to 1 decimal place, 1.0 into 9.8. So the value of G is 9.8 meter per second square. Remember this, and this is the method to calculate the value of acceleration due to gravity. I know this is a lengthy method, but it is a fantastic method to learn so many things like the graph, which we will be doing again in the second chapter. Also, I would like to bring to your notice that there are certain factors which affect the time period. So you all know that the time T square is directly proportional to L. So what all can affect the time period? What all can affect the time period? So if I remove this square, T will be directly proportional to root L. So time period is directly proportional to the square root of the length of the pendulum. It means if you increase the length, suppose I have the length I have made 4 times. If the length is 4 times, so if you put 4 times there, directly proportional to 4 L have made it, means 4 times I have made length. So the time will also increase by a factor of 2 times. Why 2 times? Because root 4 is 2. So this is how the length depends on, time period of oscillation depends on the square root of length. Also from here you can make one more formula. Look here, this was T square upon, this would be more clear I believe. G is equals to 4 pi square L upon T square. This was the formula. From here I can make the formula for time. So this will be, if I bring this T square there, it will be T square is equals to 4 pi square L upon G. And if I remove this, everything will go under root 4 pi square L upon root G. So from here also you can say that T is directly proportional to root L, but it is inversely proportional to root G. It is inversely proportional to root G. Now how do I write inversely proportional? For inversely proportional I write 1 upon root G. So this is how you write inversely proportional, and this is how you write directly proportional. Directly proportional means as it will increase, this will also increase, and inversely proportional means as it will increase, this will decrease. Inversely is this. So it is inversely proportional to the square root of G, right? Also I'll put one link in the description where you could see that this time period of oscillation does not depend on the mass. Does not depend on the mass. Mass of what? Mass of the bob. It means if I put a bigger bob there instead of that smaller bob which we used in the practical class, then this time period will not change because it does not depend on the mass of the bob. This time period does not depend on the mass of the bob. So these are the factors on which it depends. You have to remember this formula also. T square is equals to 4 pi square L upon G. So kindly make notes of all these things. And this was the last topic of this chapter which we have done. They have made this formula using this. I'll make it for you right now. So it was, as you know, that T square is equals to, from here we have made T square is equals to 4 pi square L upon G. So I will write T square is equals to 4 pi square L upon G. If I remove this, it will become under the root 4 pi square L upon G. Now you know that root of 4 root is 2, pi square is pi, and then it will come under the root L upon G. So this is the formula to calculate the time period which we will be using in numericals. T is equals to under the root, T is equals to 2 pi under the root L upon G. And how the formula has come, that also I have explained. So using simple pendulum, you can find the value of acceleration due to gravity. Any problem, anything you have, please ask in the comment section, or we'll discuss it in the class as well, right? And the link of the video I'll drop, where you will see that this time period of oscillation does not depend on the mass of the bob. So it depends, time period of oscillation is directly proportional to root L. It is inversely proportional to G. It means if G will increase, time will decrease. Here length will increase, time will increase, right? So that is it. Thank you.